first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lay a 2-inch section on the side of the handle like this, and I'm gonna begin wrapping over. I'm gonna make it nice and tight, and I'm gonna immediately wrap over itself like this. So it's overlapped itself, like so. And I'm just gonna continue wrapping, ensuring that every single wrap is super tight. And just for aesthetics, I'm gonna make sure that that tag end right there stays in the middle. I want this knob of melted paracord right here to flatten out, to lay flat. So I'm just going to heat that up and squish it flat. Once it gets molten hot, like that, I'll smush it flat. There we go. All right, now I'm going to take another section of paracord like this, short section, and I'm going to lay it down on the opposite side, and I'm going to wrap 4 wraps, the last 4 wraps, over top of it, really tight.
It's twisted, babe.
Maybe 5 wraps. Yeah, like that. Just like that right there. Pinch it off like that. And now I know I can trim this. This is going to be the end of my paracord, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. Maybe. Insert it in through the loop that we created with our spare piece of cordage. And I'm going to hold that nice and tight. And I'm going to grab both of these ends here, and I'm going to pull like that. And that's going to bind it. And then I'm going to pull really hard. I'm going to give it some yanks, and that's going to pull this all the way through. Like that. So that's really, really secure. And then what I like to do is cut this off pretty short, right about here. And I'm going to melt that. And then I take, while it's still molten, while it's still melted, I take a nail and I shove it down in there, and that keeps it from sticking up, from protruding up. Careful not to melt the rest of the paracord wrapping, just the part that's sticking out. And when it's good and hot, take my nail and I flatten it out. Come on. Come on, you son of a gun. Get there.
Okay, good.
There we go. Now I've got that all tucked in nice and neat. And that, my friends, is just about the most expedient, fastest, simplest, effective handle that you can put on a blade. Need to murder a tree and don't have one of these? All you need is this. Let's say I need this sapling for some sort of project, whatever it may be. Cutting through something of this size or bigger or even larger like this right here can be difficult with a small knife if you don't know what you're doing. But the easiest way to get it done is to bend the fibers. You stress the fibers, put a little tension on it, and then right there at the apex of its bend, you put some pressure at a 45-degree angle and watch. See that? I'm almost all the way through with one cut. And a little bit of whittling more, and I'm through. Probably the best fire starting aid in the woods that exists is this right here. This is called lighter knot or Fatwood, lots of different names for this, but no question, this stuff is absolutely amazing. It is preserved by all the pine resin that's in the wood. So this stump has been here for years and years. The tree has long been dead, but the stump is still here because of all that resin that's in there. And if you take a chunk like this right here, that will burn for a long time. Tired of dealing with tangled paracord? Me too. This is about 20 feet of paracord right here, and it can be kind of a mess if you don't know how to bundle it up correctly. So what I do, this is how I do it. A lot of ways to skin this cat, but this way works really, really well. I pinch it between the two fingers just like that, and then I begin wrapping around my 4 fingers, just like that. I start wrapping it around over top of itself, keeping my fingers spread apart, and I wrap the entire length, except for the last foot or so. When I get close to the end like that, let's say maybe, let's say 1.5 feet, give or take. I will take the entire bundle like this, and I'll give it a little twist right there. And that kind of bunches up this middle section right there. And then I'll take the paracord, the tag end, and I'll wrap it over top of itself. And then I'll just keep wrapping over top of it, the bundle, and that bunches it up nice and tight. The last two wraps, I go over top of my thumb, like that, over top of my thumb, and then I stick the tag in through and pull. A really powerful whittling technique if you need to cut through a small sapling like this in a hurry, or you just don't want to waste time and energy, is called the chest lever. So I lock this thing into my chest like that, lock the knife into my chest so it's not going to move. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to use my back muscles, and I'm going to spread right here. I'm going to kind of push my chest forward, and that is a really powerful cutting motion that allows me to cut through this sapling with one stroke really, really easily, as opposed to this, which requires a significant amount more effort, a little bit more risk involved, perhaps cutting myself or cutting someone else around me. This is very controlled, very low risk involved in this method right here. Wool blanket sleeping bag. Tuck it over top of your feet first, just like that. And you can pinch it between your feet like that. And then you just take the edges. You take the short one first, tuck it over your legs, and then you take the long one over your body. Snug as a bug. The amazing thing about wool is that it insulates even when wet. It could be pouring down rain right now. If I wrapped up in this wool blanket, it would still keep me warm. I'm Jason Salyer with On3. Subscribe to the channel if you like tips on survival. It's all by itself. You just gotta get in here and you gotta say, it's okay, tree. It's okay.